Shorty say she down and up and flex with all the shooters. Shorty, all you gotta get ahead of all my shooters. Alright.
What is going on, y'all? It's your boy 3MG. We are back with another video. Now, listen, we all know Hideo Kojima was like restricted and was basically imprisoned of his ideas and his creative freedom, you know, in Konami, so that he left, went over to Sony, and now is making a game called Death Stranding. But we all know the beloved Metal Gear franchise. I mean, Metal Gear Solid 5 was ass. I'm gonna be honest with you. I played halfway and then it became like a rinse and repeat scene. It became extremely like trash. But Konami decided to take Metal Gear, the name, and throw it on another game that they're calling Metal Gear Survive. And it's a survival horror game. And I think it features like 4 players, 4-player online as well. And I'm gonna be honest with you, from the little bit that we saw early this year, like in January, February, whenever we saw it early this year, I was like, wow, if this didn't have the Metal Gear name in it, people would have probably been interested. Although we see some of the characters and we could tell they probably just resketched them a little bit and they renamed the characters so that it doesn't look bad, or maybe they do have Solid Snake or Big Boss, whatever, right? But we're gonna check this out. It says first single player gameplay, new survival action game for 2018, Metal Gear Survive. We're gonna check this out. I'm gonna give you guys my honest thoughts. I know a lot of people ain't looking to play this, and it releases February 20th. I don't know, man. We're gonna check this out. Links will be in the description below for the official trailer. Let's get it on and popping. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what the hell what Peggy means. Anyways, though, I bet you anybody's gonna say Peggy 16.
Peggy 16.
See, I told you, I don't know what the hell that means. I can't believe they took the name.
はい、こんにちは、メタルギアサバイブプロデューサーのこれからです。本日は、皆様に、メタルギアサバイブのシングルプレイについて紹介したいと思います。
Hold up.
メタルギアサバイブはですね、
Metal Gear Survive is a spin-off episode of Metal Gear Solid 5. Okay. But is Metal Gear Survive only a single player? There's no multiplayer? I thought they had like co-op.
メタルギアソリッド5、MGS5 のスピンオフゲームです。MGS5 で好評だったゲームシステムやアクション性を生かしてサバイバル要素の強いストーリーモードであるシングルプレイ、そして仲間と共にですね。
Oh, okay. It also has a co-op multiplayer mode where you fight along your partners and have to strategically use defensive units. And
これからはシングルプレイのサバイブのストーリー。
Survive story is not directly tied to Metal Gear Solid 5. This is an apocryphal story set apart from the main Metal Gear Solid timeline. Just like the submissions in Ground Zeroes that feature Raiden or Snake from Metal Gear Solid 1. The story in Metal Gear Survive starts with the Mother Base assault by XOF at the end of Metal Gear Solid 5, Ground Zeroes. The main character is one of the soldiers that was fighting on Mother Base. Just when the Mother Base started to collapse, a wormhole appeared in the sky and sucked in debris, corpses, and soldiers that were still alive. Our protagonist managed to escape this fate. 6 months later, the player is sent by a mysterious organism.
So basically, they took a random homie that you had in your Mother Base that probably had a high level. Well, not yours, but that was their concept. And now all of a sudden he becomes popping. Come on, man.
In this world, the player first arrives at base camp, set near a wrecked Mother Base. Food and water are still essential resources needed to survive. A small number of animals can be found here, which you can hunt for food.
It seems to have
a
like
lot of materials
in it,
can
but
be found throughout the world that are useful for crafting. You can collect them and bring them back to base camp. Crafting objects requires materials and recipes. You can come up with your own recipes when it comes to cooking, but for powerful items and weapons, you need to get the recipes as rewards in multiplayer. Firearms are very powerful, but ammunition is a scarce resource, so use them wisely. There are a lot of melee weapons in Metal Gear Survive.
what is that, Dead Rising?
Every weapon has unique characteristics, so you can choose one according to the combat situation, or just use your favorite. It's important for the player to collect materials as they are progressing on their mission. Let's explore the surroundings while being careful of wanderers. If you get spotted by a wanderer, it will call others and attack in force. I recommend you sneak behind the creature's back or kill it with a silent weapon, such as a bow. You can only carry a limited number of arrows, but fortunately, you can pick up the ones you fired. You can build many types of facilities in your base camp.
So
you
you
can farm
have
crops, build water tanks,
you have
or
fucking
facilities to
Age of
develop better
Empires
items and
mixed with
weapons.
The Sims mixed with Metal Gear Solid mixed with
Furthermore,
Dead Rising.
you never know when the Wanderers will attack your base camp. You have to be prepared for it at any time. Don't forget to set your defenses. People you've saved will join your crew. By assigning them to the right team, you'll be able to develop your camp further and faster. Them down. All the weapons and items are common to both single-player and co-op multiplayer. Players can use materials collected in the campaign and rewards earned in co-op to further develop base camp, reinforce weapons and items, and beat the hardest missions.
Hear me out. I'm gonna just say this real quick. I'm gonna say this shit real quick. This ain't my type of game because I'm driven by heavy story-driven games and just action-packed story-driven games. And I'm gonna just name a few, and maybe you can get an idea of just things that keep me focused, that keep my attention, driven over and over and over for a long period of time. We have The Last of Us, which I was driven by the fact of like, what's gonna happen next? I have God of War, which I'm just in love with fucking Kratos, the character. I love just the adventure that I get, the action that, comes with this character in his story. And I love the mythology, the whole era of that. Then I have Horizon Zero Dawn. I just love that story. It was driving me. I love the concept of the game. That's what gets me, I don't really get a kick out of this whole, and I don't even know how to explain it. Let me see if you guys understand where I'm coming from. It's like online elements in a single player game, like survival, for example, right? In The Last of Us or in other survival games, when you're playing a single player game, you're going through the story, encountering all these, the dead or clickers, or whatever you want to call them. In this case, it's different when it's an online game like a horde mode and it's brought to single player. So it's like ongoing. It's the same thing over and over, and then you gather materials over and over, and then you go back to the base and you start building over and over. It's really the same thing. Then you go find people, you get to help people out, you get to build the base over and over. And at some point you're gonna get super bored because of how repetitive it is. So many games are repetitive in what it's, for what the game is, but this looks like right out the box, I'm gonna get so bored of just doing it. Now, mind you, if it didn't have the Metal Gear name, I still think like that's a dope concept. It just doesn't fit like what I like. Now, as far as co-op goes, if we can join a server in co-op and continue to build and build and build, that would be hot. But personally, they should add a mode where it's 4v4 with zombies all over and we all go up against each other. I need something that's gonna keep my attention running. This doesn't seem like a game that I would personally like buy. This doesn't look like a game that I'm gonna personally get myself involved with. To be honest with you, that's just me. That's not the type of game that I stick to. Like, I like The Sims, right, for what it is, but I give a Sims a pass. This type of game, building your base and just everything single player wise, I can care less. It's not like H1Z1's Just Survive mode where you're online with everybody and you get to build your base and you already know that the concept is let's get everything, all our materials gathered up because some online players may come. There's a dope concept. As far as this goes, this is all in the single player. This doesn't really interest me, you know what I mean? But it's not bad. It doesn't look bad. It just obviously Metal Gear Survive. Metal Gear, really. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Subscribe if you are new. Like this video. And I'm out of here, man. You have a good one. Peace.
Yeah, I told you. The weather's cold, we're getting older. Things even change when it gets colder. But we'll move on just like a moment. The sun is sky.